The Galactic Archive recorded it as year 3247 of the Great Peace. 3 millennia since humanity had put away their weapons, disbanded their militaries, and embraced the role of healers, teachers, and artists among the stars. Their children grew up not knowing war. Their museums displayed ancient weapons as curiosities from a darker age. Earth had become a garden world, a symbol of transformation from violence to harmony. Ambassador Elena Vasquez stood before the Zafrani delegation, her silver hair gleaming under the soft lights of the New Geneva Diplomatic Center. The insectoid aliens towered over her, their chitinous bodies clicking with barely contained aggression. They'd come with demands, territory disputes in the Outer Rim, mining rights to human-protected systems. "The Council has reviewed your requests," Elena said calmly. "We're prepared to negotiate mineral rights to uninhabited systems, but the colony worlds remain under protection. 17,000 children live in those settlements." The Zafrani Prime, KZZKT, slammed a razor-sharp appendage on the table. "Humans have grown soft. 3,000 years of peace have made you weak. You dare deny the Zafrani swarm?" Elena's expression didn't change. "We deny no one anything through force. We simply protect life, as we always have during the Great Peace." Then perhaps, KZZKT's mandibles clicked in what passed for a smile. "You need reminding why strength matters." The attack came 3 days later. The Zafrani hit the agricultural colony of New Eden without warning. Their warriors descended on the school complex during morning lessons, stunning the adult teachers and rounding up 300 children. The youngest was 4 years old. The footage reached Earth within hours. Security cameras showed crying children being herded into transport ships, their small hands reaching for parents who lay unconscious in the streets. One little girl clutched a stuffed rabbit, tears streaming down her face as a Zafrani warrior shoved her forward. In her office, Elena watched the footage once. Just once. Then she placed a call that hadn't been made in 3,000 years. "Open the vaults." Deep beneath Earth's surface, in bunkers thought permanently sealed, lights flickered to life. Automated systems began their startup sequences. Dust fell from machinery that had waited 3 millennia for this moment. The vaults, humanity's promise to future generations that they would never be defenseless, even in peace. Within hours, fabricators roared to life. Not the elegant machines that created art and medicine, but the old ones. The ones that remembered how to make things that killed. Military vessels, dormant in hidden shipyards, received activation codes. Across human space, citizens received a notification they'd never seen before. Protocol 7 active. Stand by. Marcus Reed, a pediatric nurse on Luna, stared at the message. His great-great-grandmother had been a soldier in the last war. He'd grown up on her stories, thinking them exaggerations. Now, as instructions flooded his neural implant, battlefield medicine, weapon operation, tactical planning, he understood. Every human carried the dormant knowledge. 3,000 years of peace, but they'd never forgotten how to wage war. The Zafrani expected negotiations. They'd taken hostages before from other species. It always worked. The peaceful races would trade anything for their young. But humanity didn't negotiate. They didn't threaten. They simply moved. First came the intelligence gathering. Human artists near Zafrani space revealed themselves as dormant intelligence operatives. Their 3,000 years of patient observation yielding complete tactical data. Every weakness, every defense, every location mapped and cataloged. Then came the ships. Not the graceful vessels the galaxy knew, but things of angular death that emerged from hidden manufacturing centers. Weapons that physics said shouldn't exist, developed in secret and improved upon for 3 millennia. Shields that bent reality. Drives that folded space in ways that made Zafrani technology look primitive. Admiral Thomas Chen, whose family had maintained ceremonial naval traditions for 100 generations, stood on the bridge of the Remembrance. His crew, teachers and doctors and musicians just days before, moved with inherited precision. "Sir," his tactical officer, usually a violinist, reported. "Zafrani home fleet is scrambling to intercept." "Let them come," Chen said quietly. "All ships, Execute Pattern Omega. Show them why we chose peace. The battle lasted 17 minutes. The galaxy watched in stunned silence as the peaceful humans carved through the Zafrani fleet like a plasma torch through paper. Ships that had terrorized sectors for centuries simply ceased to exist. Human weapons didn't just destroy, they unmade matter at the quantum level. But humanity didn't stop at military targets. They systematically dismantled every piece of Zafrani infrastructure. Shipyards, communication relays, government centers, all vanished in precisely targeted strikes. No civilians were harmed, but in 3 days the Zafrani Empire was reduced to a pre-space collection of isolated worlds. Elena Vasquez broadcast from Earth, her gentle teacher's demeanor unchanged. Behind her, images played of human soldiers breaching the compound where the children were held. Every child was recovered. Every single one. 3,000 years ago, she said, humanity chose peace. Not because we were weak, but because we were strong enough to know better. We put aside our weapons, but we never forgot why we once wielded them. Her voice hardened. Touch our young again, and we will remind you why our ancestors were feared across the stars. The children were returned to New Eden. Medical teams, the same soldiers who had rescued them, tended their trauma with infinite gentleness. The little girl with the stuffed rabbit was reunited with her parents. The warriors who'd saved her already returned to their lives as teachers and healers. Within a week, the warships were decommissioned, the weapons returned to their vaults. Humanity resumed its role as the galaxy's peaceful guardians. But now, every species understood the truth. Humans hadn't abandoned war because they were weak. They'd abandoned it because they were too good at it. The Galactic Archive was updated with a new entry. Humanity peaceful by choice. Do not test this choice. The warning was never ignored again.